what do we do going forward with and about these black conservatives who have decided to cast their lot not just with the Republican Party, but now with Donald Trump? It's impossible to miss them. Every news panel discussion has to find one or two. It's to the point where if someone just got their information strictly off of watching CNN panels or Fox News panels, they would believe that, every other black man that you met was an avid Trump supporter. Obviously, that is far from the case. 8 out of every 10 black men voted for Kamala Harris in his last election. 9 out of every 10 black women voted for Kamala Harris in this last election. So in the end, right about what you would expect, generally speaking, within a very small margin of error. The difference is we are now in an era where the media has to promote a narrative that the lumpen proletariat, if you will, or just the average person can easily digest. So it's easier to turn the attention on these big increase or uptick in black support that Donald Trump got, which really doesn't exist, than it is to just face the fact that the majority, a hefty majority of white Americans voted for a felon and a racist. It's a lot easier to talk about, well, how did he gain black voters or whatever have you? Well, the truth is he didn't gain. A lot of us didn't show, something we've discussed before, and I'm sure we'll discuss again. There was a fight that was on, and a lot of us didn't show up for the fight. But those of us that did pretty much voted like we typically vote. We will unpack all of that later, but let's address what we do about the vocal and visible black Trump supporter. We don't do a damn thing. Nothing. Ignore their asses. Just ignore them, okay? We know the game. We understand why they're doing it. We know that it's a good job that they couldn't get otherwise. We know that. We understand that. But here's a more poignant reason why we ignore them. I want to paint you a scenario. Supposing your next door neighbor has a dog that gets out of the yard regularly and comes over and makes a mess in your yard, okay? He does this. Sometimes that dog barks at you. He snarls at you. He's a real nuisance to you, irritating. You don't want to see him, hear him, or smell him, but you do. My question to you is, do you go and argue with that dog, or do you address the neighbor that owns the dog? What's more constructive? That dog is not my equal. That dog is a pet to my neighbor. I'm not arguing with the damn dog. I'm going to address the neighbor. And addressing that could take a number of forms depending on how he responds to my taking corrective action against him for disturbing my peace with his goddamn dog. Okay? Now, I know that that's very harsh. And that's not something that I do with any glee whatsoever, but the point has to be made. I do not believe that these people are valueless humans. However, forcefully, I may object to what they're saying and doing. I understand what their needs are, and I don't excuse what they're doing, but understanding it helps me be able to commit that I wish no harm to them. I will not allow them to harm me, but they are not my enemy, okay? They are an obstacle in my way to a limited extent. But the enemy is who they answer to, who they work for. They who make policy, they who set prices, they who select personnel at every level. That's my enemy. That's my enemy. So to waste my time, too much time, addressing a Candace Owens here who has been struggling to find her footing since she fell out of favor with her benefactors, she is not worth my time, nor is she worth yours if you are a civically engaged and socially aware and historically astute black person. She is not worth your time. She is not. She is a shiny object to draw our attention so that we will attack and get after her, as opposed to getting in the ass of the local Republicans in your town or in your state who are fucking up the public schools, who are messing up the daggone disaster relief, who are messing up public funds and having giveaways to their, millionaire and billionaire buddies in the state, whatever. That's who your goddamn problem is. And a lot of us do not know their names. But that's a problem that can be fixed, though. I don't say that as a critique or slam on us, whatever. It's just the reality. We're very distracted. And it's not just us. All Americans are suffering through a period of extreme distraction right now. We all are. But of course, for us, the consequences are greater and it tends to stand out. Because it's something about us where people just love to watch what the hell we do and how we do it. Sometimes for the good, oftentimes for the bad. So as this goes forward, and if you are a Black conservative, you are free to address me. I'll be glad to have a conversation with you. And then, if you have something to say that is constructive, but if you intend to come into my space and, fillet Donald Trump or anybody else, whatever, you can keep that shit over there because I don't need the time wasted. But if you are constructive, if you are really trying to do something in your own space, in your own way, to specifically aid and assist and uplift our people, you and me can always have a conversation. Always. That door will stay open. That door will stay open. But stop running your mouth and talking shit. This is Freestyle Politics. Peace.